My fish fam, it's Nikachu, Merfolk Master. Today we're gonna play the top 8 list of a modern challenge piloted by none other than Mooshak. If you've never heard of Mooshak, well, I never heard of Mooshak either, but Mooshak's been actually doing pretty good in the leagues. Multiple 5-0s, and just a week or so ago ended up getting a top 8 with this Merfolk list. So let's take out for a spin. Maybe there's something I can learn from this build of deck. So first off, we've gone back down to 20 lands. Specifically, there's only 16 lands in this deck, supported by Sink into Stupor for the extra few lands. We have a little bit of card draw to curve out with the form of 2 Silvergill Adepts in here, but it is super dense on blue cards because we have 4 Force of Negation and 4 Subtlety in this deck. So we're heavy on the pitch strategy, and if we're heavy on the pitch strategy, then I guess we're gonna make the best do that we can on 1 land Ether Vial hands. It's probably gonna be like there's probably gonna be a good chunk of 1 land Ether Vial hands, and we're just going to be subtleting things and force negating everything else. We do have our range of regular clowns here. We got our Harbinger of the Seas and Tide Shaper to clown up our opponent's lands into islands for some free wins. We have our lords. We have 8 lords. We have 4 Vidalian Hexcatcher. Hopefully Hexcatcher is going to be useful in the... It's not a super Cascade metagame right now, but I mean, there's enough out there, and enough out there, there's a lot of combo, okay? There's a good chunk of combo out there. Hexcatcher hopefully is going to do some work. Bringing back Merfolk Trickster. Not exactly sure where this is super important. Maybe gives you a smidge of more of an edge versus the Urza Saga decks. I was never a fan of Merfolk Trickster versus Urza Saga because you only deal with like 1/3 of the card. But at the same time, it's not like Flood Pit Drowner is doing anything versus those cards. Also, there's another problem with Flood Pit Drowner in that it's 1 toughness, and between Goblin Bombardment and Lava Dart, which are pretty prevalent right now in the metagame, and I don't want to say Bowmasters is very prevalent. It's that card has actually become quite niche, but still, like, Boros Energy, super powerful. Maybe having the 2 toughness just matters more right now in the metagame. Going on to the sideboard, that's where things get more interesting. Hurkyl's Recall. I think, against Affinity, I was thinking maybe our matchup is really not so bad versus it. Somewhere between Force and Negation, maybe even Subtlety. We can really blow away Affinity, because Affinity now has these hands where they're really dependent on getting their enchantments to resolve. Like the enchantment that whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, you get that stupid bomb artifact. That artifact, if it ever gets destroyed, then deal 2 damage to any target. And so if you force negate that, it slows them down by a lot. And some hands are super dependent on Kappa Cannoneer, and if you timely Subtlety that thing, maybe once, maybe even twice, that would be enough to close out the game with our lords. So between Hurkyl's Recall and Chalice of the Void, if we can turn the Affinity matchup into a good matchup, then maybe Merfolk would have even more game in the metagame as it stands right now. Consign to Memory, good versus Eldrazi. Flare of Denial, good for combo decks, maybe even some of the Eldrazi decks. Kira Great Glass Spinner. So I was trying to figure out where the hell would this be good in, because I honestly don't think it's good. I don't want to say it's not good anywhere. It might be good versus Eldrazi. Like, I was thinking, where would this actually be a bomb? Maybe the Eldrazi matchups, because they can't double spell in a turn. They're usually sinking most of their mana into like doing one thing. So they'll sink all their mana into playing in Ugin, what is it? Devour of Destiny? Devour is something, where there's a cast trigger and it exiles a permanent on the battlefield. If they're only targeting one thing a turn, Kira Great Glass Spinner will be a bomb. But that's the only matchup that I think it would be really relevant versus. Everything else is super mana efficient, like against energy. Like, just sack 1 token, pick off a creature with Goblin Bombardment, and then finish it off with an actual removal spell. So, or maybe it will still help. I don't know if it'll help so much versus the Ephemerate decks with Solitude, because you just target it, it gets countered, you Ephemerate, it's dead. There's still another Ephemerate around the board. Maybe some value there. Okay, Svelune, 2 Dismember, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Chalice of the Void. Chalice of the Void I actually think is quite well positioned. No, I don't want to say very well positioned, but I think it's worth a sideboard card right now in our sideboard. All right, this is the top 8 deck. Can I pilot it to at least, I don't know, at least a 4-1? If I don't, that's okay. Mushak will get all the 5-0s for us. Let's get into our Modern League. Round 1, we won the die roll. We have a 1-lander. Cannot trust it. I'm going to mulligan. It is a 2-lander. It is a funny 2-lander. It almost looks like a type of hand I should probably... Well, okay, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to keep this. I'll keep this and I'll dump a Subtlety. There's like some weird decisions. You could get rid of the Ether Vial, but that's way too risky. There's another world where you just like dump a Mutavault and you just keep this 1-lander and we just go like... Maybe Tide Shaper turn 1, Lord turn 2, and then get up to 4. But I think this maybe is a bit too absurd. Let's just play somewhat low risk. Somewhat low risk. Okay, we'll start with Mutavault, and there's no guarantee that I'll even do anything with it. I might attack with it, I might not. But I'm giving myself the option to attack with it. Also, if we keep ripping lands off the top of our deck, I'm going to want to keep that Otawara in my hand. Oh, you want to crack that Polluted Delta immediately, do you? That Blood Crypt's going to have to answer to a Shaper. Faithless Looting. Loot away. Probably up against Gorios, round 1. Okay, we got the goods. We got that Grafdigger's Cage, right, chat? The Abhorrent Oculus. So Subtlety will be very, very good versus that card as well. While our opponent is completely tapped out, we will go for the 1-2 punch. Force Negation is also kind of nice to have. Although I'm sort of running out of cards to do anything with these cards. Alright, so long, Blood Crypt. Bwah. Bwah, bwah, bwah. Oh, they had a second land. I couldn't see that coming at all. And I can't Harbinger the Seas that thing. Psychic Frog. Well, I think we're going to let that resolve. I don't really want to throw away my Force Negation or my Subtlety quite yet. I think the only thing I'm in danger of is my opponent playing Goryo's Vengeance on my turn, because I can't exactly Force Negate that. So we'll just plop down a Lord of Atlantis and start going to town on our opponent's life total. Next turn, we'll probably tick the Vial up to 3 because the only creature in our hand is, in fact, a Subtlety. Whoopsh. Whoopsh. Our opponent's like, also, it's very important. I don't know if they have Grizzlebrand in their deck, but if they do have Grizzlebrand, it will be very important to get our opponent's life total low, 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 low. Well, fortunately, this is not a legendary creature, the Archon of Cruelty. And by that, I mean, because it's not legendary, we don't have to be worried about Goro's Vengeance. We can just, you know, go the Force and Negation route. Okay, our opponent's going to attack. We are not blocking. It'd be foolish. Very, very foolish. Discarding a Thoughtseize. Oh, you don't want to Thoughtseize my hand? Would make my decision with Ether Vial a little bit better. We're just going all in here. Why are we going all in? We're going to play an Oculus next turn? Okay, I guess we're in racing mode, I guess. I can't tell if this is a sign of strength or weakness. It could be a huge sign of weakness. Okay, are we going for Oculus now? Okay, fetch. If it's Oculus, we Subtlety. Crack back for 8. It's a lot of damage. Well, now it's going to be crack back for the win. Well, you have no basic island in this deck? It's okay, I guess I would be in charge of giving you all the basic islands anyway. It's such a dangerous line that they're going down in. Yeah, it looks like it's the Oculus line. And we will Subtlety and attack for 8 if this resolves. They have only 1 card left in hand, so they can't Subtlety back. And the game's over. That was nice. Felt like a classic game of Magic coming from Merfolk, of all things. Okay, we won. They saw the writing on the wall. Okay, what do we want in this matchup? Probably Grafdigger's Cage? Like, probably? The thing with the Grafdigger's Cage in these matchups, I don't think you need it. Like, that's my only problem. Like, do we really need Grafdigger's Cage? Dismember is fine. What else is fun? Like, Dismember is fine. They'll have Psychic Frog that you can kill. And if they want to risk going all in on saving it, that could be a risk for them. Another thing that you can kill. There's that. Man, I'm bad with the magic card names these days. The 2/2 creature. The 2-mana 2/2 creature that can buff itself up for 2 mana. It was like it exiles a creature from the graveyard, and you can play it when it buffs itself for 2 mana. I don't remember any. I just know what this card does in my bones. I can't tell you what the ability is. I can't tell you anything. This does feel like a Flare of Denial match, except I'm assuming that they're going to bring in a good chunk of removal. Tishana's Tiebinder looks useful. Trickster is very useful. Harbinger, this is probably not a Harbinger of the C match. Probably not a Harbinger of the C matchup. If our opponent has any brains, they are going to be bringing in things that can play around. They'll just fetch basics, which will play around everything. Let's bring in maybe some Kiras. So anything that's useless. Tideshaper is not useless. Silvergill Adept is not useless. Hexcatcher is not useless. Lord is not useless. Wow, there's all these good cards I want to bring in. Okay, let's just shave some Force, Subtlety, bring in Flare. I'm at 60. It's not clear I need Kira. Do I really want this cage? Players can't cast spells from Grave... Okay, so they can't play the backside of Faithless Looting. I swear to God, this is what's in this card is in the deck for this, but I don't find that it's particularly necessary. Okay, I'm going to keep Kira. Let's just get rid of more interaction. Get rid of Subtlety and Force Negation, I guess. Oh, also Dismember will kill the Oculus, so Dismember's a slam. One thing I like about this deck list, they're like, you know what? Screw Dismember. We don't even need it. We don't need it in the main deck. You know, that's like a sideboard card. The hand is honestly poor because I can't play Silvergill Adept on turn 2, but I can curve out with this. I can sort of curve out. I'm hoping that we draw a Merfolk. There we go. There it is. Well, I don't want to waste my mana, so let's start with Grafdigger's Cage. Another reason we don't need Harbinger of the Seas in this matchup is that our opponent is likely to give us islands anyway. They have blue in the deck. They have enough blue in the deck anyhow. Yeah, they're dumping these cards. They're already useless. I mean, I don't really love playing Grafdigger's Cage on turn 1, revealing like what we're doing. But at the same time, there's a world where they surveil, they find like Archon of Cruelty, put in the graveyard, pass, then we play Grafdigger's Cage on our turn, but then they play Goro's Vengeance in response, and then we're screwed. They're holding up some sort of counter spell. Or Fatal Push. If they got Fatal Push, that's fine. But we're going to play our Silvergill Adept here and get value. We get another Grafdigger's Cage. We got the backup just in case they blow this one up. I don't even know how they could destroy this. They probably have... I mean, they might Otawara at end of turn or something. Or they might have like 1 or 2 copies of Sync. Wow, did we wreck their hand with this Grafdigger's Cage? It's pretty passive, opponent. It's pretty passive. Let's continue by attacking. I'll attack. If they have Bowmasters, I mean, this thing wasn't long for the world anyway. We'll continue with a Mutavault, just in case there's some sort of counterspell that charges me mana. Let's get our Ether Vial out of the way, and then we'll follow up with a we'll play Tide Shaper, and we'll hit the red source over here. Steam Vents. It's the only unique color that's on the battlefield right now. Oh, you're gonna kill my Tide Shaper, are you? Oh no. How rude. Oh, you didn't want to kill my Silvergill Adept, did you? My innocent Silvergill Adept? So what is going to happen is... I guess I'm just going to pick away at my opponent's life total with the Silvergill Adept at the moment. We got nothing going on. I have a lot of interaction. I don't want to attack with Mutavault right now, because then now we can't play Subtlety, and then we can't play Sink into Stupor. Let's, like, keep our options open. Especially since our opponent has, like, just a big, huge chunk of mana up. I brought those Kiras in, right? Alright. Usually in these, like, these Grixis combo-ish decks, they, like, by default, they'll bring in more removal to slow people like me down. Oh, not exactly right on time, but good enough. I don't want to play it into a mystical dispute, and I very strongly believe that our opponent has one. We're going to wait for Ether Vial to get to 3. And it's not even going to be that bad, because then we can go Ether Vial from 3 to 4. And it'll be okay. 3 to 4 for our Subtlety. Oh, they put a Flare of Denial in the graveyard. They could have Flare of Denials in hand, too. Cycling Unearth. Grafdigger's Cage seems to be doing a lot of work right now. A lot of work. Faithless Looting. Half of it cut off by Grafdigger's Cage. By all means, go for it. They discarded a Spell Snare, which is very bad right now. So, okay, I don't know what's doing more work, the Grafdigger's Cage or the Cavern of Souls. Work is being done, though. And our opponent still has nothing to do. Yeah, they're throwing away, like, you know, Persist. So this game is a little bit on easy mode, just thanks to the Grafdigger's Cage. We have 2 Kiras. We have a backup for the Kira that's going to fail. Okay, we'll just pass. Hopefully our opponent spends a lot of removal on the first Kira. That would be great. Another Unearth. Yeah, so this is just a card draw factory matchup right now. What is this? Molten Collapse. Choose one. If you descended this turn, you may choose both instead. Destroy target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. I'm not sure if... So we have a Sink into Stupor, so I'm not super freaking out right now. Oh, but the Sink into Stupor is going to be a mana short if our opponent has Mystical Dispute. That would really suck. I think I'm just going to let it resolve so that we have the option to play our second Grafdigger's Cage next turn. So they're going to go for something here. Oh, they're going to go for Faithless Looting. That is... I think that's fine. We're just going to let that happen. That is A-okay by me. All that to get rid of a... All that so that they can play Faithless Looting. I knew it! I knew it! You didn't think I know? You didn't think I knew? I knew. Okay, now we're going to get Kira in play. Now the removal sucks. I think... You know what? Let's just take this up to 4 already. I can feel like a creature is going to get played soon. This Tide Shaper is borderline useless. Maybe it's not that useless. I can cast this card and still hold up Sink into Stupor. And still have our Grafdigger's Cage. What does Molten Collapse do? Destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value. Okay, so it's only 1. Good. So we'll attack for 1. We'll play our Tide Shaper. We'll play our... And I'll play our Grafdigger's Cage. We're just going to cast this because our opponent has borderline perfect mana. It's actually interesting that they're so vulnerable to Harbinger of the Seas. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, our opponent's crazy to do this. Super crazy. You're crazy, opponent. I mean, you're just wildly insane. Ooh. The Flagi Archaeologist. I think this is fine to Subtlety. Because this is going to activate Flare of Denial. And also it's just going to help them find cards that they need. I just hope we're not walking into like an Anger of the Gods. But if they play Anger of the Gods, then we could like Sink into Stupor. Okay, they didn't like seeing that. And we win the game. Super threat dense. Well, Grafdigger's Cage did a lot of work. I mean, it's good in the matchup, don't get me wrong. It's quite good. Not entirely sure we had a pretty good hand though overall. Not entirely sure we needed it, but hey, do you know what? It doesn't hurt that it's there. A beautiful card. Okay, that was round 1. Let's move on to round 2. Round 2, we won the die roll, but our hand is quite a bit of air. It's just air all day here. We have basically 5 lands. I'm gonna mulligan. I mean, it's fine for curving into like Subtlety, but you really need to not draw a single land. If you draw a single land, you're screwed. This is better. Yeah, we can keep this. It's like it's a fine. It's actually quite a good 1-land hand. It would be better on the draw than on the play, so that you increase the chances of drawing your second land. But you know, I'm not going to complain. We have 2 creatures in hand, both Hexcatcher and Silvergill Adept, that can use this Mutavault mana. Like if this was like Lord of Atlantis, this was like Master of the Pearl Trident, this hand would be bad because like the first we're playing our first creature on turn 3 through Ether Vial at the minimum. All right, we got nothing. That's okay. We can pass with nothing. We got Subtlety. Come at me, bro. My opponent goes Sad Face, Good Luck. What are they? Are they playing Boros Energy? And they're ready to whoop me big time. They're ready to whoop me. I'm about to get whooped. Oh, it's Storm. Oh, maybe I'm gonna whoop them. Anyway, I can't do anything about that. Let's tick up. That's okay. That's good insurance. Although I'm not thrilled. Okay, so we have 2 options here. We can either hold up Hexcatcher. That's probably what we have to do. Ideally, I would love to play Silvergill Adept here to try to draw a land, but if we brick on the land, then we're in a really bad spot. So let's just pass, and if we need to sack that Mutavault to this Hexcatcher, I mean, I'll do it. I'll do anything that I need to do to survive. Although this Force Negation is like a turn late, I would have much rather countered that thing. Anything to counter the cards. Anything that counters the cards that can makes their spells cheaper. Because like, what am I gonna do? Counter a ritual now? Now we're in a spot where I have to let my opponent just do their thing, and I have to hope to counter a key card late in the chain. But it can't be too late because I mean, there's a point where there's a point of no return, and then I'm doomed. Yeah, Metamorphose is okay. Are you going for it? I could have anything. I could even have a Hexcatcher. In fact, I do have a Hexcatcher. Artist Talent. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. It's too strong. Way too strong. Subtlety is probably not the card we need in this game. I don't like that Artist Talent. That's going to sift through way too many cards. Ren's Resolve. Okay. And they found another Mana. Oh, they got another Artist Talent anyway. It's like nothing mattered. Okay, you got an Artist Talent. This just churns through too many cards. You cast a spell, you may discard a card. That's broken in this type of matchup. But I'll tell you what's more broken. Ruby Medallion. Okay, that resolves. Ral. Well, you already had a ruby. Okay, flip away, Ral. Ah, you lost the flip. Okay, Reckless Impulse. Recklessly find some lands. Oh my god. These, I mean, it's just gas. It's just a ton of gas. Ral resolves. They don't even have a land drop yet. So if I like play Hexcatcher and then sack Mutavault, counter, like it's worthless. And what can this Ral do right now? It's at 8. Exile the top 8 cards. I think I'm ready to just resign. Well, there's the lands now. Not enough though. Okay, there's a wish. That was pretty bad, but it's not bad enough. It was actually pretty bad. There was like so many lands in the out of that 8 that our opponent drew. I guess what they have Past in. Do they have Past in Flames? They have a wish. Okay, you can wish for. I guess you just wish for. You can like empty the Warrens. You do get Past in Flames. I can't counter anything. That's fine. Okay, we'll just concede. That's okay. Live by the one lander, you die by the one lander. We had some interaction. Well, the problem is we didn't draw the Force Negation when we needed it. Okay, cards that we want. Anything that can counter stuff. So Flare of Denial, good. Sphaloon's okay, but we'll see where we stand. Dismember is good for killing Ral. Hitting the cost reducers is everything. Grafdigger's Cage is fine, and Chalice of the Void is fine. Actually, Chalice of the Void is very good, but you have to play it. You have to play it on 4. That's the key. Don't play it on. Don't play it on 1. There's no point in that. You got to play it on 4. Okay, cards that we don't need. Subtlety is too expensive. Shana's Tidebar is okay. Harbinger of the Seas can be okay, just because. What do they show us? White. So they're gonna be playing with like Silence. They're gonna play with Prismatic Ending. They're not gonna play with Flage anymore. But a lot of their sideboard cards are based on white cards, and sometimes you get free wins. Okay, sometimes they're just like they go get the Surveil land. They get another Surveil land. And then that's it. And then you play Harbinger of the Seas on turn 3, and then they're screwed. So I should have some Harbinger of the Seas in this deck, but not too many. Merfolk Trickster is good only as a flash creature, but outside of that, she's irrelevant. Do I just keep it like this? Maybe dump. I don't really want that many Harbinger of the Seas. That's the problem. I don't want that many. Okay, we'll bring in a Sphaloon. Consigned Memory is like. I think we have a lot of strong, heavy-hitting cards that I don't need to bring in Consigned to Memory. It's worth bringing in if you have, like, nothing, but we got a lot of good stuff between Grafdigger's Cage and Chalice of the Void. All right, let's do this. Let's submit this deck. Yes. The reason I'm bringing in Sphaloon is this is a matchup where you're going to 2-for-1 yourself a million times, and slamming a Sphaloon and start drawing some cards. It's not bad. All right, it's okay. No lander. Mulligan into 1 lander with Cage. I think we're going to keep this, and I think we're going to dump the Flare. Because we are down on resources. Or do I want to dump the Dismember? Flare can hit anything, but then I gotta sack something. Is that big of a deal? That we sacrifice something? Okay, turn 1, I'm probably gonna play... So this is good versus Ral. This is also good versus Ral. You know what? I don't want to deal with it. It's okay. We're not gonna... We have a Hex Catcher. Hopefully our opponent plays into. That's my plan. Opponent plays into our Hex Catcher. Go, actually. Yeah, let's just put a 1-mana 1/1. It might telegraph that we have Hex Catcher, but I really don't care. I don't really care at the moment. Play... Is there any... Yeah, there's some shot that I play this attack with Mutavault next turn. Just gonna attack for 1. I believe there's some spot removal in the deck, so I don't want to expose my Hex Catcher too early. They dumped a Wish into the graveyard. Bloodstained Mire. Into Mountain. So they got Artist Talent. I will... Oh, it can say non-create. Oh, it actually can make stuff reduce costs in this deck. Okay. Do I want to counter this? I attack for 6 next turn. You know what? Maybe I'm just going to let it resolve. I'm just going to try to counter something else. Let's just go in and beat our opponent up. And I still have this cage. Ooh! The problem with Harbinger of the Sea... Is it a big problem? Non-creature spells you cast. It will reduce our opponent's hand to just 1 red source. But of course, they can just play a ritual to undo that. Attack for 3, keep Harbinger. Next turn we play Cage. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play the Harbinger anyway. And in worst case scenario, I can just throw away the Harbinger. But it would have been a hell of a lot better if our opponent didn't get that mountain. But oh, our opponent was smart though. They got that mountain all right. Okay, they went to level 2. That is... All this stuff is not bad. Okay, let's attack. Now I wish we had the Flare. I didn't know we were going to draw so many blue creatures. I wish we had Flare of Denial. I'm not paying attention here. I should have played the Lord, attack for a few extra chunks of damage. Our opponent went down to 4, and then in the event that our opponent plays like a ritual for 1 mana, we probably could have sacked... I could have sacrificed 3 things on the battlefield to win the game. Now that we're not in that spot, let's play Cage. We'll just play Cage and hold up Dismember, and I can still put myself in a okay position. Damn, it's just I can't sack 3 creatures now. Because if I had the Lord on the battlefield, it was just a win? Yeah, I think it was just a win. Because our opponent goes down to 4. I would have 1 mana up. I can sack Harbinger of the Seas to the ritual. Then I activate Mutavault, sack Mutavault to the ritual. And then I can sack Tideshaper to the ritual, and it's all countered. Okay, they're going to discard a card, and they draw a card. And also with the Master of the Pearl Trident in my hand, that's just 1 less creature on the board. So I could still take that line, counter, sack. Nah, it's too many resources though. Okay, let's let things play out. They do have to get rid of the Grafdigger's Cage first before they do anything else. Too much talking. Orum's Chant. That actually doesn't affect my board that much. Except I just can't play Dismember, that's all. My opponent played 2 Orum's Chants? Oh no, they discarded an Orum's Chant. Okay, Ren's Resolve. Ruby Medallion and a Ral. Those are both pretty evil cards I don't really want to see. It's possible my opponent didn't actually want to see that because they already have the cost reducer. They're not looking for more cost reducers. I mean, they could make use of these 2 colorless lands for the Ruby Medallion, but at the end of the day, they got to get something going. Yeah, okay, so they're going to play another Ren's Resolve. And, okay, let's let that go. It's a Pyretic Ritual. Damn. I didn't really want to see the Pyretic Ritual. And now I'm in the same spot where I really need our opponent to brick on this ritual so that they'd be forced to use their red mana on something. And I'm still in a spot where I need to sack 3 creatures to keep this going. On the other hand, they don't have anything. So if I sacked, say, Harbinger of the Seas, if I sacked Mutavault, if I sacked Tide Shaper, they can't play anything else this turn. Oh, sorry, and they also don't get cost reduction on Ral. They do get cost reduction on Ruby Medallion, though. Not for this turn, unless they have a land in hand. What are they discarding, by the way? Another Ruby Medallion, another Ren's Resolve. They're at Storm Count 6. I'm just thinking, do I just shut them down here? And then they just can't do anything for the turn, and Ral can't be a threat this turn either. And then we play Master of the Pearl Trident with Hexcatcher. I attack for 2. It's like sort of a mopey turn, but our opponent also has like hopefully nothing. Alternatively, I can also just sack everything on the board. We keep the Mutavault, and I have Dismember up for one of the Rals next turn. And this is like a 3-turn clock. What could you have in your hand, opponent? What could you have in your hand? And you're definitely going to play Ruby Medallion next turn. Decisions. No, I think I want to keep this. It's a tough spot. Oh, maybe our opponent's not like mostly focused on the Grafdigger's Cage at this point. Like, is Grafdigger's Cage or bust for them? But they could do fine just finding an Anger of the Gods. Well, if they anger the gods, then they anger the gods. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, I'll let it resolve. I don't know what I'm getting into here. Maybe they're going to play Ral into Ruby. And was it whenever you cast an instant? No, that doesn't even trigger that. Neither of those things are triggered. Okay, Ral arrives. Which I can't kill, unfortunately. Okay, let's see if Ral flips. If Ral doesn't flip, good. If Ral flips, I'm in trouble. Okay, they lost the flip. That's good news. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. That's good too. They discarded nothing. I think with Ral on the board, this is where it ends. And I gotta sack the field to keep myself alive here. Oh, do we have 3? You still have 3. Why do you have so much mana up? Why do you have so much mana? Okay, so I sack. No, I'm still in control for the most part. If Ral even flips, what's the other side? Deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. Okay, that could be a problem. But then you're not winning the game this turn, and I might win the game because I do have a Master of the Pearl Trident in hand. Okay, let's spin the dice again. We have Mountain and Valakut Awakening. So they found a land, which they can play this for, I guess, 1 red. Ugh, another Ren's Resolve. Very frustrating. But no mana. Okay, so my plan is... Okay, I have to counter one of these rituals. Okay, they're going to exile a bunch of cards. Gotta put an end to this menace! It's a menace. It's a society. Okay, we gotta counter this. Where is this mana coming from? Was there a mana floating? Like, I'm always in this situation where I have to sacrifice 3 creatures, and I don't want to do that. I'm constantly in this situation where I have to sack 3 creatures. How much stuff? And what is the rule here? Exile top 8 cards. You may cast any instant and sorcery spells from among them this turn without paying your mana cost. Okay, so let's start sacrificing. Start sacking my board, I guess. I guess we are going to get rid of the Harbinger of the Seas. So we unlock our Mutavault to counter this thing. It's not even clear what the hell they can play next turn and what they can't. Oh, that's interesting. They just let one of the sacks resolve. Okay, so cancel, activate. We're gonna try to kill my. What is going on here? Is there like some floating mana I can't see? I swear to God, like, oh no, oh I see. Ral says you may cast them without paying their. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, we're not actually we're not casting things off of what's it called? Ren's Resolve. We're casting them off of Ral. No, that was a big oopsie by me then. I should not have let Ral flip. I sort of botched this. I botched this game in 2 ways. Hello. Oh, sorry, I was thinking. Thinking of bad lines. All right, well, anyway. I play bad. I deserve to lose this. Is there anything I can do? So hold on. What was in here? Past in Flames was for free. You want to play Metamorphose in response. Go on. Okay, this thing is triggered. Yeah, bad lines are very... Or my opponent says bad lines are very easy to think about. I know. Now can I do anything? Does doing anything at this point do anything? Probably not. Hold on, the Past in Flames doesn't do anything because we do have the Grafdigger's Cage. So did I sack my board for nothing? That makes me even more angry. Okay, let everything resolve. Hopefully we draw a land. Okay, this thing's going to activate and it's going to be worthless. They're digging for a way to beat Grafdigger's Cage or digging for a Grape Shot. I should have really just did nothing. But their odds of finding a win con are just so damn high at this point. Even with 2 cards in hand, the Artist Talent will find it. I'm basically digging 2 cards a turn. Reckless Impulse. Don't get too reckless around here. Another Orm's Chant. They might already have the win con, you know, they're just building up the storm. That's also possible. I'm gonna wish. They can wish for like an answer to Grafdigger's Cage, which is totally fine. Yeah, they wear. Okay, I'm just gonna concede. I'm just gonna say good games for my opponent. That's too bad. Game 1 we had no shot because that's just how Modern is sometimes. Game 2 we had a good shot. This is one of those games where I'm talking to you guys. I forget. Hey, I just drew a Master of the Pearl Trident. Maybe I should have played it, put my opponent down to like 3 life, and win the game next turn. That was round 2. Definitely winnable. has nothing wrong with the deck. Deck was great. I'll see you in round 3. Round 3, we won the die roll. We don't really have that good of a hand. I guess I can still keep it. If we draw any card, well, it's. So I have some options on turn 2. I could end up turning my Mutavault into a land. If we draw an island, the hand is fine-ish, but not great. Maybe this is just a mulligan. I mean, it's just way too awkward. It's just awkward. This is just way too awkward. Like, we depend on an island. If I draw double blue spells, this will be terrible. We do have a lot of Mutavaults. Okay, do you know what? Maybe I'll keep it. It's awkward, though. But maybe it's doable. Maybe we can make it work. Because at the very least, one of these tricksters can get eaten up with a Force of Negation. At the very least. If we can't cast the tricksters, we can attack with the Mutavault/Mutavaults. Depending how good our mana is going to be. We have a decent chunk of creatures that cost 1 and a blue. So if we draw those, so like any island, any like 1 blue, like Silvergill Adept, Hexcatcher, another Tide Shaper might be acceptable. We see what happens though. It's the hand is definitely on the weak side. If there was no Force Negation, I wouldn't keep this because I can't. The only thing that makes this hand keepable is Force Negation lets me do something with my hand otherwise. We could also draw more cards that are free, like Subtlety. That's also a possibility. Okay, start with Island and pass. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him with that Tide Shaper. Tide Shaper, go. Oh no! Oh no, they're playing around our Tide Shaper. They've played this game before. Oh, but we do rip the Cavern of Souls. Okay, we'll play it on Merfolk and just pass with our Merfolk Trickster up. Classic 2/2 bear to the rescue. Go Trickster. We are up against some sort of blue deck. Could be blue-red prowess. Ooh, a subtlety. Huh? No, I'm not even sure what we're up against. What is... Oh, well-timed. My Ether Vial. Very well-timed. It looks like this type of deck is going to be playing at flash speed, so I don't want to play Tide Shaper right now. I want to wait for our opponent to tap out for some reason. And until then, we'll play Ether Vial. It's also possible that when the Ether Vial goes to 1, I'll prefer to play the Tide Shaper for 1 mana. Because I don't even know if I can... Oh! It's Living End. Oh. In that case, our hand is fine. Maybe not great. It would be good insurance if we had Master of the Pearl Trident in hand. Huh. Okay. Okay, so they can't cascade this turn. Steam Vents. Okay, we got to do a big number on their life total then. We got to get to work on their life total. I'll work very hard. Wistfulness. Which was spent, blue. When this creature enters, if blue was spent, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. That's fine. Great card in their deck. Very good card. Okay, this should be an easy win for us. Not this game, but you know, hopefully the match. Problem with this game is if they have Violent Outburst, we're going to be in trouble. We don't have a good answer to that. Okay, that's interesting. What does Violent Outburst need? It needs red and green, huh? So what if we cut them off the green for now, and then force them to Violent Outburst on their turn if they really needed to? Or at all. They also play with Shardless Agent. So what if they just don't have green mana right now? Okay, let's see how sensitive you are to having no green mana. You know what's interesting, actually? I probably should have played Mutavault, cast this off of Mutavault, and then if our opponent played Subtlety, that might be a sign that they're really screwed on their mana. Okay, so this is gonna go Tostitos. Good question. Do we put it on top? Maybe we keep it on top. I attack for 6. Nah, I'm gonna put it on the bottom. I just plan on countering that first one, and then hopefully that's enough to win by next turn. Or not. I can't. Oh, sorry, I can't beat Violent Outburst. I can beat Shardless Agent though. There's the Shardless Agent. There's the Cascade. Maybe they just don't have green mana. There's a Force Negation. So what do we need? We need Lord, Merfolk, Trickster. Oh, they do have green mana. Meant nothing. No, Trickster won't do anything. We want a Lord. Good old classic Lord. Preferably Hexcatcher. That'd be the best one. It's not bad. That's not bad. And they've already dumped 2 subtleties. All right. Let's just keep attacking. Could attack with everything. Choose not to. And that means if Living End pulls off, if that's possible, we'll have a Trickster on our way. We'll have a Trickster coming on our turn. Probably looks like we have what we have. Yeah, I'll just counter the Shardless Agent trigger. Then we'll attack for 6. Put our opponent down to 1. Do you have another subtlety? No. It wasn't worth resigning. I mean, I attack with everything. You can block the Tidebinder. What was I drawing? It was just a land. They go to 1. 1 is not 0. Okay, cards that we want. Consign of Memory is good. Flare of Denial is good. Dismember is bad. Grafdigger's Cage also bad. Chalice of the Void is good. Good, 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 good. Cards that are bad in this matchup. Trickster is very underwhelming in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not actually that big. It's a flash speed creature, but like I don't really need it. Harbinger of the Seas is okay, but not that good. Okay, we're gonna keep 2 Harbinger of the Seas. I don't like flooding out on this card for the reason that if you have too many and they go fetch for a forest, that you're lost. But if you look at that game, they didn't fetch for any basics. And you do want some Harbinger of the Seas for those games where they just didn't have a hand where they could get a basic or couldn't afford to get a basic because they need to get Surveil lands so that they can dig for more like fetch lands to curve out. Subtlety is fine because you need something to defeat. Well, you could in theory use it on that looting card, but also you need some subtleties to defeat their subtleties. It's basically a force of will versus their subtlety. Anything else? No, this looks fine. Sphalen is okay too, but I think unnecessary. I think we got a lot of goods here. You could argue having the Sphalen over the Harbinger of the Seas. This hand's okay. I'm not super like fist pumping this hand, but I think it's okay. I mean, Sink It to Stupor, if you Sink It to Stupor the Living End, it's basically a counterspell. But it's very clunky. It's very easy for our opponent to Mystical Dispute the damn thing. Land pass. See, they're running right in. They're playing right into our Harbinger of the Seas. They're playing right into it. But they don't need lands. They dumped a Misty... Oh, no, sorry. I don't know what they need. They kept the card on top. I thought they surveilled the Misty Rainforest, but they didn't. Forest cycling, sure. They can get any forest, right? Search your library for a forest card. Could be a breeding pool. Playing right into the Harbinger of the Seas. I'm telling you. They're going to play right into it. Worst possible time. Worst possible time, Ether Vial. Because I have to play this Hexcatcher at the end of my opponent's turn. Curator of Mysteries. This is definitely time to play Hexcatcher while they're tapped out. Although, to be honest, I really wanted to bait them into going for the combo, but I also don't want to play into a Mystical Dispute at the same time. Like if they have Violent Outburst, they'll just pass the turn. And then I'll play Hexcatcher, they'll Mystical Dispute, and they'll wait another turn to go for it. Okay, this is probably Fire, which is actually good, because we do have this Harbinger of the Seas, and I will go for it. Oh, it doesn't... No, Harbinger of the Seas, is this like weaker than ever? Because it would have Mountain Cycling. Why don't my opponents do this? Are my opponents just playing silly? I'm starting to think not to play this Harbinger of the Seas, because it's worthless. It should be worthless. Okay, sounds like instead of Harbinger of the Seas, I should always bring in, like, I guess we just keep, like, the two Tricksters. I don't know. I guess I just intuitively won enough times with Harbinger of the Seas that I never really recognized that it should never work. Because whenever they have Oliphant or Generous Ent, they will go get the required forest. Or maybe they just don't have enough lands in the deck. Or I don't know, not lands. They don't have enough of these effects. Well, in any case, I think what I'm doing is I'm playing Sink into Stupor untapped. I think I'm going to play Ether Vial. I'm going to pass. And we'll play Hexcatcher at the end of our opponent's turn. Okay, they're going to cycle the Curator of Mysteries. Going to cycle something again. Am I allowed to put this in play? Can I have a second creature in play, please? I assume it's going to get countered, but, you know, I don't know. Oh, is this going to be Subtlety? Well, we can Subtlety the Subtlety. Oh, they're going to have Violent Outburst in response. Okay, sure. Okay, so they Cascade. They Living End. We'll force. We'll pitch a Subtlety. I'll still play Harbinger of the Seas next turn. And we'll still... They'll probably be like a little bit of a tempo play. So I guess they were willing to fight over this a little bit. We'll counter the Mystical Dispute with our Hexcatcher in play. We'll end up with a Hexcatcher in play after this. And a Harbinger of the Seas. Hopefully. They might Subtlety my Harbinger of the Seas. And hopefully it'll force our opponent to at least take some time to find a way to get a green source. I mean, I guess it's Generous Ent or nothing, right? So let's cancel. Let's attack for 1. I don't know what our opponent could play that would interact with my Harbinger of the Seas. That's not a Subtlety. And we just pass. You're a nice little clock there, Harbinger of the Seas. You're a nice little clock. Alright, they do nothing. It's a good sign. That's awkward. I just take this thing up to 2. Okay, so we'll attack with everything. If they have subtlety, these points of the game, you have to consider they could have subtlety and blow you out. So be careful. Otherwise, if I thought I couldn't protect versus subtlety, I would have just attacked with the Harbinger of the Seas and not with both of them. I think it's a bit reckless the other way around. You want to sink into stupor my Harbinger of the Seas. Well, that is awkward for me. Okay. Very, very awkward. What you got? You got it or what? Violent Outburst? Violent Outburst? You gotta do it now. If Aetherval goes to 3... Well, I mean, I guess if Aetherval can still go to 3, you can still Violent Outburst. That doesn't change anything. Okay, you do get the Violent Outburst. I cannot interact with this thing. What do I want to do? Damn, Subtlety does not... It exiles. It doesn't discard. Okay, anyway, the Violent Outburst happens. What world do I want here? How much power is going to come at my way? Can't get another... I can't get another damn Merfolk! This stupid Ether Vial's on 2! I didn't know I was going to draw a Tide Shaper. How the hell was I supposed to know that? I guess let's counter. Have to deal with this stupid Ent card. The problem with the Ent is that it creates food. I don't like that. Too much food. Okay, resolves. You almost worked for me, Harbinger. You almost worked for me. Okay, we desperately need to draw a Lord. Lord would be very useful. I would like to tick this up. If I draw a 2-drop, I'll just play it from my hand. It's not the 2-drop I wanted. That's for sure. Okay, just in case I need to sack more stuff on the board, let's play Tide Shaper. I don't know, the green source. I'm about to play Harbinger of the Seas anyway. I will play Harbinger of the Seas. And how big is everything? We have a 6-drop, a 7-drop with trample. So this is gonna be 10 by itself. What did I not do the math here? It says reach. Oh no, sorry, this is until end of turn. Yeah, okay, so I'll get like 1 shot. My opponent will attack for 16. We can chump block the generous Ent. Then hope for a Lord. Actually, they can't attack with everything. Then we just attack back for victory. They can attack with most... Yeah, they can attack with half their things. That's a safe-ish attack. Take 8. But actually, the funny thing is, I can block both those flyers next turn. Although I'm not really in any position to attack here. Oh, I got my Lord! I got the Lord, chat! But how do I get through? Our opponent probably has Mystical Dispute. Could they have Flare too? Okay, we just gotta believe in the heart of the cards here. I don't have any choice. I mean, I could wait 1 more turn, but or maybe I can't wait 1 more turn. Oh, subtlety. That's good. And they evoked it. You could cast it for full retail, you know? Okay, so we're going to... Yeah, choose up to one target creature spell or planeswalker spell. That is a spell. It's on the stack. I have my own subtlety. Do they really have nothing else to do? By the way, their life total is at 10. I don't have another blue card in my hand. I'm missing a blue card. Okay, we're going to put the Lord on top. They have no cards left. Okay, pass. I can block a flyer. And I can chump block some stuff on the ground. Is that enough? That might not be enough anymore, chat. I think we're cooked, chat. I think we're cooked. I think our goose is cooked. If our opponent sees the line. And the line is attack with all... maybe not attack with everything. How much can I damage can I deal? If I chump block everything, I'm super dead. Oh, but then Oliphant is dead. Can I chump block one more turn? Okay, so they're going for everything. This creature attacks another target creature gets +2/+0 and trample until end of turn. Okay, so what's gonna happen here? If I block here, I block here, I chump block here. How much damage is getting through? 2, 8, and I don't die. I don't think it's enough, chat. I don't think it's enough. Do I have something else? This is 5 damage. I can't block this thing. This is 11. This has reach. This has trample. Okay, hold on. What if I can't let these two through because that's 10. I was thinking, like, what if I double block something? Like, I could double block. I can double block this, and then something doesn't die. But then if I block here, this is still 11 damage. What if... Okay. It appears that we're dead. Damn, 2 subtleties. So I'm telling you need subtlety for their subtlety. And unfortunately, they had subtlety for the subtlety that we were subtletying. Next. Well, Harbinger of the Sea still did something that game, so maybe we are going to hold on to it. Okay, submit the deck. Submitted back. It might be worth a little less going into game 3 because they saw that we kept Harbinger of the Seas in the deck. Maybe they'll prioritize getting a basic forest with that forest cycler. But again, they might not be able to afford to. They might just have to get dual lands so that they can have a green source while also playing, like, you know, paying the blue cycle cost on their Curator of Mysteries. We're going first. This is good. Keep. This is great, actually. That's a lot of pressure and a bunch of counter spells. Unfortunately, these counter spells require us to sack the stuff and play, but you know what? We're going to have to just deal with it. It's going to be okay. Okay, Merfolk. Just play Tide Shaper immediately so that we curve out. Then next turn sink into Master of the Pearl Trident. Another Lord, which is great. The fact that we've got like a bunch of the fact that we have Cavernous Souls is probably key to this hand. Very key. I'm not super thrilled that we have to sack the creatures in play, but you know what? Flare of Denial will work on our turn if they have Violent Outburst, so that's fine. Next turn, we'll crack in for 6 while having Mutavault on the board. If they go down to 11 life, maybe that's close enough to win. Now, sometimes you just want to keep the other Lord in your hand so that after they living end, you have like a Lord that can still push through damage afterwards. I don't think that's going to be this game because all of our interaction is Flare of Denials. All of it. All of our interaction is Flare of Denial. So far, it doesn't look like they have Subtlety, because I swear to God they would have Subtlety the Master of the Pearl Trident immediately. Wistfulness. Draw 2 cards. Discard 2 cards. Oh, wow. They got rid of the living end. Harbinger of the Seas. That looks worth playing too. Yeah, maybe we're going to play a Harbinger of the Seas. Although it'll make our Lord counterable. Okay, let's play this first. And we can, if we need to, we can always sacrifice our Harbinger of the Seas to a Flare of Denial. If we really need to unlock our lands. Okay, it just went on the spot. That's why I don't like to, like, the thing is, if you have 4 copies of Harbinger of the Seas in your deck, and then they get the 1 forest, then it just does nothing. It's so bad to flood out on Harbinger of the Seas. But if you just have like a few copies, 1 to 2, you just have that glass cannon, or like, I don't know how to put it. It's not like the Floron is, it's a 2/2 for 3 mana, and you can pitch it to Subtlety, sometimes Flare Denial and Force Negation. But then you got games like this where they're just dead. They can't play anything for green, and they are lost. That was round 3. Let's move on to round 4. Round 4, we lost the die roll, which means we are probably up against an aggro deck. The hand is poor, but I'm going to keep it. It still can curve out. And it's just slow. That's the only problem with this hand. That's better. So we got a little bit more threat density with the Silvergill Adept. We can start playing that on turn 2. Okay, what are we doing with this Flooded Strand? Oh, we're playing against another Graveyard Reanimator deck. So far, all the matches have been pretty favorable for us. Merfolk. Oh no, we're up against Zoo. I should have known. Yeah, I think this is just like a... Whoa! What year are we living in? That gotta go. But now the right... Okay, what is this? Is this just going to be an Omnath deck? Okay, that can't resolve with our Harbinger of the Seas. I guess we're going to dump the Silvergill, even though I really like to keep Silvergill Adept. The reason I'm dumping Silvergill is if there's more pingers, then I don't want to be so vulnerable to them. Also, this Master of the Pearl Trident might be key to squeezing in damage versus our opponent. Hexcatcher. They know we're on Merfolk already. Okay, let's just pass then. Pass their Hexcatcher. And maybe we can protect our Harbinger of the Seas from something in the future. Or not. Okay, I'll play the Hexcatcher anyway. I don't really want to play Harbinger of the Seas into this fetch land, because then they'll just fetch a basic. Got a Trickster. Okay, well, I feel like this. I feel like I'm playing a version of the deck from 2021 or something. Oh, I should have put the Mutavault in play. Actually, the island is fine. Island can represent Force and Negation, Flare of Denial. The Lush Portico, very luscious. And again, we're not tipping them off that we have this Harbinger of the Seas in hand. I mean, there's a pretty decent chance they could be playing with, Solitude. In fact, I would argue there's a very high chance they're playing with Solitude at this point. They're a very greedy mana base. for a world with both Blood Moon and Harbinger of the Seas at its height. Okay, they do have Solitude. They're just thinking way too long at end step. And what do I do about this if they have Solitude? I guess we're just gonna attack with this stuff until we can exhaust the Solitude out of their hand. Because if they go Solitude Ephemerate... Oh, this is not going to be what I think it is. That is fine. Okay, so we'll counter that with a Trickster. Let's keep our counterspell on the battlefield. Oh, I guess they were thinking of March and they didn't want to get hit by a Force Negation. Because the thing is, if they go Solitude Ephemerate, and then we can't play Harbinger of the Seas because then they'll just ephemerate their Solitude on their turn. All right, now if they have Solitude, they are going to reveal it. They have to. There's no choice. What is this, the One Ring? You don't have One Ring. What? Is this another Living End deck? No, it can't be, because you have March. What the hell is this thing for? What do you use? What's the other ability? Green was spent to cast it. Exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Atraxa. This is a Reanimator deck. It is Reanimator. And it is Solitude. Is it Ephemerate too? No Ephemerate. Okay, that wasn't bad value though. That was okay. We have a Lord. I'm going to ignore it. Let's attack for 4. Keep up Merfolk Trickster. Well, to keep my Hexcatcher on the board, I'd have to sacrifice the Trickster and the Mutavault. I don't think that's worth it, so we'll just bing our opponent for 2 damage. Play Hexcatcher at, play Trickster at end of turn. Maybe I actually want to hold on to the Trickster, but I just don't know how to develop the board at the same time. Because, like, if they reanimate Atraxa and give her haste, then... What the hell is going on here? We are up against Omnath. Okay, we have an Omnath. Omnath is going to draw a card, but I'm going to remove all your abilities at end of turn. Or, like, this turn. So if they play any lands... was it the first one gives you 4 life? Okay, you don't want to do anything this turn. That's fine. Oh, the classic Billion Lords problem. Billion Lords. Alright. All in on Lords. Hopefully you can't do squat about this. Gain 4 life. I don't care. Gain 14 life. I got more Lords where that came from. Put a Plains in the graveyard. A basic Plains. This is another Omnath. Who the hell is playing Omnath in 2026? Rat the Skies. Okay, my skies are wrathed. Well, fortune favors the brave, I guess. We're going to just attack with the Mutavault. I think this maximizes damage. I attack for 3. Next turn, I attack for 7. Whereas if I played the 3 and 7, that's 10. Whereas if I played both Lords... attack for 3. Next turn, attack for 7. That's a total of 10. Or the math doesn't matter. So attack for 3, go to 7. Next turn, attack for 7. Alternatively, I just play this Lord and I attack for just a clean whole 10 next turn. Is that how this is really working? There's no advantage to holding up the Master of the Pearl Trident? I guess not. Because I could top deck another Lord and attack for even more damage, right? No, hold on. Yeah, it's attack. I attack for 3. Next turn, Mutavault becomes a 4/4. This is a 3. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, so by playing both lords right now, I give myself the option to top deck a lord and then attack for even more damage the following turn. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. They don't appear to be lands because they missed 1 land drop on 1 turn. So imagine I'm screwed. The second one, it adds a bunch of mana. Okay, Delightful Halfling does nothing. Delightfully nothing. Well, maybe they're just going to... Okay, I guess they have nothing. They're going to hold up the fetch line just to gain life. Okay, maybe we're in a position of strength here. And that Sink into Stupor is great. So we'll attack for 10. And then next turn we'll be attacking for lethal. Oh, I guess not. They gain 4, so actually that fetch line will put them one life point high enough. Whoa! Whoa, what is this? On the aggressive. Very, very aggressive. Silvergill Adept, you're useless. Damn, you have something to do. You know what? I actually had a line. If they crack the fetch land to go get a land, I could bounce the Omnath and they don't gain life. So now here, I have to bounce Solitude. They crack fetch land. Hopefully they have no lands to go get, but that's a little optimistic here. Yeah, I have to. Okay, we sink the Solitude. That's fine. They're gonna take 10. They'll go down to 1, and then even if they Solitude one of the lords next turn, it's gonna be a little tricky. You know what? This game's still gonna be tricky. Because if I only attack with the Mutavault, I'm screwed. They can exile the Mutavault. If I only attack with the lords... If I attack with everything, they can exile a lord, block another lord. Okay. Oh, they're doing this right now. Okay, that's not a good line. They should do it while I'm attacking. Because now I can just attack with the Mutavault. Unless they drew a removal spell, then I win. Oh, sorry. Unless they drew a removal spell, then they win. But if they waited till my... Yeah, okay, they punted there. If they wait till I attack, my attack is weird. But I drew good. Okay, so that would have helped me win the game. But, like, if I attack with just the Mutavault, then they play Solitude, exile Mutavault. They live to see another day. If I attack with everything, then they Solitude, exile a Lord, block the Lord with the life-linking Solitude... Oh, maybe no. In the end, they live because Mutavault's only attacking for 3. Omnath. I don't even know what to do against this deck. Okay, Dismember for Omnath and Delightful Halfling. Sphaloon, I guess. Yeah, maybe Kira's good here. Maybe not. They have to have Ephemerate. Consigned Memory is probably okay. No, actually it's very good because they have Leyline Binding and Solitude. Flare of Denial is probably fine. I would say Force Negation is... Oh, I have so many cards. Okay, what cards I don't like? I'm not really a fan of Trickster. I want to say this card should be bad, but no, man, I guess it has to be good. Like, there's going to be games where Harbinger of the Seas is going to really suck, and I guess there's going to be games where Harbinger of the Seas is going to be awesome. So I have too many 3-drops. I'll get rid of Sphaloon. It's been so long. I don't really remember my sideboarding for this matchup. I can't have all these spells. Maybe shave on Force Negation. The thing... okay, hold on. Okay. On the play, I didn't like Force of Negation. On the draw, I do like Force of Negation. And do you know what? On the draw, I probably shouldn't like Flare of Denial, because I am on the back foot. Like, I need something for Ren in 6, because if my opponent gets off Ren in 6, then Harbinger of the Seas is useless. And I can subtlety Red in 6 too. They have March. And Rat the Skies. I guess that's enough. I guess that's okay. We'll just submit this. That is good. As long as they don't have turn 2 Ren in 6. They have turn 2 Ren in 6. It's going to be rough. It's going to be real rough. Delayed Halfling, okay. Dismember? Dismember? Nope. Island. Pass. It's been a while since we've seen this card. I'm surprised it doesn't see more play. I mean, like, why not? It's like the mana dork of mana dorks. What's wrong with it? Cavern of Souls on Merfolk, and we're just going to pass. Not give my opponent's March of Otherworldly Lights a lot of room to do anything. And if we're lucky, our opponent will save all of these fetch lands. For Tishana's Tidebinder. No, not saving anything yet. But it keeps getting non-basics. Which seems insane to me. But maybe it's only... Okay, it's only insane because they knew they had the goods in hand already. They knew the goods were coming. Here comes Omnath. It's the name of the show here. It's the Omnath show. Fortunately, I have no interaction for this card. Nothing. No subtlety, no dismember for it or Delightful Halfling. Nothing. Not a zip. Tide Shaper. What are my options here? Well, the situation is bad. Like, it's pretty bad. So what you can cast with this? I'd want to spend this mana only to cast a legendary spell, and that spell can't be countered. Okay, let's I want to reduce the chances of fetch land screwing me over, because that's ramp with Omnath. So we'll play Harbinger of the Seas and hope our opponent doesn't have any... Like, Leyline Binding is not strong here. What else? I guess they could March this. So that would, like, it was March or nothing. We have 2 Tide Shapers. Okay, let's start playing some Tide Shapers. Why? Why did it do that? Ugh, I hate that bug. It's not a bug. It's me being stupid. Okay, well, we're gonna try a second one. But, like, one of them was supposed to get eaten up by a March. What is this? Couldn't play around that. Okay, now this will hit the plains. I will play a Sink into Stupor. Yeah, I'll play a Sink into Stupor. No, I will not deal any damage with it, and I shall pass. Next turn, we'll play Master of the Pearl Trident, and hopefully protect it with a Tishana's Tidebinder. Ideally. Okay, our opponent now can get a bunch of mana and Plague Wind my face, right? That's what it does. Third time you sack a land, it deals 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. Hold on. Wait a minute. They exiled with March, right? How much did that cost? It's an additional cost to cast this spell. You may exile any number of white cards from your... Did you exile? No. Could I have countered that? Because I had a random Tide Shaper in play. They had... How many lands did they have in play? Or did they have this many lands? I gotta look at the replay. Could I have countered that? Was that on the table? Because they just played a land. So they played white. Like... I think I could have countered that. I think I could have countered that March. That random Tide Shaper play might have been like secret tech. Okay, Solitude's gonna hit. Actually, I don't even care what they hit. Thank you for the life. Appreciate it. Alright. Now I gotta hope these lords are good enough. I will hold on to my assets. I can't afford... It's like, okay, if my opponent could have a removal spell here, I can't do anything about it. Or they could have Ephemerate even. Like, I just can't play around that. If they got it, they got it. And I'm just screwed. We have to hold up Tishana's Tidebinder for... we have to hold up Tishana's Tidebinder. Okay, I'll take a bunch of damage. Next turn we'll play another Lord. Let's deal another huge chunk of damage. We sort of have to assume our life total is at 6. Okay, now we don't. So then our opponent can't play 3 lands next turn. What the hell is this? Another Solitude? Oh, it is another Solitude. How much damage are we dealing if we draw land? Leyline Binding. Okay, it's gone. Alright, here we go. Land? That's not bad. Do I need to leave anything to block? This is 10 damage by itself. Maybe I need to leave a blocker for a Solitude. Yeah, I have to leave a blocker for Solitude. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have activated the Mutavault, leave the Tishana's Timer to block the Omnath. So let's attack for... That's okay. We'll attack for everything. We'll attack with these things. It's fine. And we still can block with Mutavault and win next turn. They will not gain enough life. So they need to top deck some interaction here. It's not interaction. Never been so happy to see Lords, but like somehow our opponent just doesn't have enough interaction. And they're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. Make sure you have the other Mutavault up so that if they somehow have a removal spell for one Mutavault, you can activate the other one. God damn, you have another Leyline Binding or something? And we will block the Solitude that has lifelink, so it can stop gaining lifelink around here. Go to 18. Can I think I can deal lethal. I think this is lethal. This is a lot of damage. Damn, that's a lot of damage. Flex tape can do nothing here. Math is for blockers. It's like 20-ish. I'd love to get something out of this. Is it going to be enough? What the hell can this destroy target artifact, enchantment, non-basic land? Oh, that was a non-basic land. Okay, what do I have? 4, 10, I have to now count. 13, 18? No, 16. 4, 8, 13, 16. Damn it! God damn it. Shoot, I really need to attack with that Mutavault last turn and hold up to Tishana's Tidebinder to block this stupid thing. Then I'd be at one more, I'd have one more life point. Unfortunately, this Ottawa is not going to do it. So close. So unbelievably close, this game. Okay, concede. That's too bad. Feel like that was winnable. Okay, we're on the play now. And so when you're on the play, Force Negation is going to get weaker. Flare of Denial is going to get a lot better. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Yeah, we'll submit it. Submit the deck. Any reason to have Sveilun over anything? Maybe not. It's possible it's better than Hexcatcher. Hexcatcher doesn't seem to have any purpose except to like just make my creatures just randomly bigger. For the most part. Salty looks great. Just need to draw it. I assume my opponent has Ephemerate. I assume. We haven't seen it. This hand's good enough. I'll keep it. Our opponent's a 5-color deck, so playing Tide Shaper on turn 1 is effectively a 1-mana 2/2, and it's good enough for me in my book. What is this going to be? Fetch on turn 1? Maybe Prismatic Ending? No. Oh, okay. Of course! Of course. Delighted Halfling. I'm not so delighted to see you, though. We drew a land so that we can curve into a Tishana's Tidebinder, which is good. If we even need to. So maybe there's... So for the most part, I don't really like playing patiently in this matchup, because the longer the game goes on, the more value the opponent gets. I cannot interact with Green Sun Zenith. Go get your Dryad Arbor. Or I guess another Delighted Halfling. It's not legendary. Yeah, okay. Prismatic Ending that thing, no problem. So where was I getting at? I don't like to play too patiently in these matchups, because if you play too patiently, you'll screw yourself. Okay, we'll play Cavern Souls on Merfolk and pass. Guess I could also name Elemental. I'm sort of hoping they play like Omnath if we can counter the trigger. Oh, they are playing something legendary, but not something I can interact with very well. I could subtlety this. This would be such bad value. I could subtlety, then just randomly play Tishana's Tidebinder, play the Master of the Pearl Trident. Oh, that could be so bad if there's like any decent removal in hand. But like I said, I don't want to slow down the breaks, because the longer the game goes, the worse it usually gets for you. Just too bad we didn't win that second game. Should have won that second game, so that we didn't have to play the third game. My fault, chat. My fault. No. Okay, we're just throwing this out for nothing because I need to keep the pressure going. We can't, like, we can't take our foot off the pedal right now. Opponent's life total is sort of low. We've got a Lord in hand. Let's keep up the momentum here. Okay, Teferi's back. It's an awkward thing to put back into my hand, but I'll take it. Ooh, a Hexcatcher. Okay, let's see if they have an answer to my Master of the Pearl Trident. Because then I'll have several options. Boo Earns! I can't play at flash speed. Well, now what do I do? Well, can't do anything with this Tishana's Tidebinder in hand anyway, so just throw it on the battlefield. Instant speed is gone. Here comes Omnath Daddy. Perfectly timed, by the way. Okay, looks like... from this position, it looks like we're lost. We need to draw more Lords. We don't have enough Lords here. Lost to a damn Teferi Time Raveler, damn it. It's actually funny that this deck is playing with a lot of somewhat old cards. No. Solitude comes down. I'll probably just concede if we don't draw anything remotely useful here. I was just thinking now, actually, maybe on the draw, we side out Hexcatcher and bring in Trickster. But we keep Hexcatcher on the play for things like Wrenn and 6 and Teferi's Time Raveler. Maybe Hexcatcher's still good on the draw for Teferi's Time Raveler. This end is bad. All right, we have to concede. I think the deck is fine. Should have a lot of game versus should have a lot of game versus this deck. I only shaved on Force Negation. I didn't take them all completely. I mean, if we drew... It's not clear to me, actually, if we drew Force Flare of Denial, that it would have supremely helped me in this game. Especially since I barely had any creatures in play when they were playing Teferi Time Raveler. But I don't mind how I played it. I played it as aggressively as I could. If I played it slower, I would have been more screwed because apparently they were just full of removal anyway. Anyway, that was round 4. Let's move on to round 5. Here for round 5, I lost the die roll. The hand is okay-ish. I'm going to keep it. We don't have anything to do on turn 1, but, you know, so be it. Ooh, the ley line. Okay, now we're up against Zoo. Now, I don't know how good our matchup is here. We don't have any spot removal for, like, anything early. Ragavan. My hand is sort of bad versus all this stuff. Okay, so Ragavan, turn 1. I guess that is fine. We'll save a subtlety for something else. Also, there's a shot that I could Tide Shaper this. I mean, I could block the Ragavan with Tide Shaper. You're gold, Ragavan. You're gold. You're golden. I do not know how this hand will beat any run out of our opponents at all. Like this puts me in a sort of a lose-lose situation too. I can force negate this, but do I have anything better to force negate? Maybe not. I don't want the Ragavan attacking me and then stealing my cards. They also get a treasure token, which is frustrating. Do they have any more mana? If they don't play a land, that will be very interesting, because we have another Tide Shaper, and we can turn this land... Oh, they do have another land, okay. It just came into play tapped. That was their problem. That was the problem. Well, they don't want to throw that Ragavan away, not yet. They've got plans for that Ragavan. Well, in that case, I also have plans for your cards, too. Mm-hmm. But I can't beat a Sign of Draco, though. Sign of Draco would screw me. Territorial Cavu, sure. Oh, that's actually a good point. Trickster kills this thing on the spot. What was that for? You shocked yourself. Was that to play another Ragavan post-combat? I hope it's to play Ragavan post-combat. Oh, I guess it's just to play Leyline Binding. So be it. So be it. Okay, I could use some of those Tricksters right now to snipe off that Territorial Cavu. That would be just... Mwah! I would love it. I would just love it. Yeah, buzz off. Buzz off, please. Just screw off with that crap. These are not particularly great cards right now. Okay, so what can screw my opponent over the most? You've got 4 basic land types, so if I bounce Leyline Binding, it does not much. I guess I have to just play a little passive right now. Yeah, I think I have to play it a little passive. Yeah, I'm just going to play passively. I could sink it to Stupor right now to play around what Stubborn Denial. Sure. You got me. You finally got me. Ragavan can start hitting me. Okay, now we'll go attempt to sink Territorial Cavu. But like none of this is getting me ahead. This is just preventing me from falling too far behind. Okay, Ragavan, find some islands off the top of my deck. Get rid of all those delicious islands. There we go. I didn't need that island. It's one island I don't need. You're helping me. You're helping me get some good stuff. Okay, now we need a Trickster. Dig me to a Trickster. That'd be so awesome. No, not Trickster. Not yet. Maybe in a second. I got a Silver Gill Adapt. And 2. No, not Trickster again. But yeah, Minovault's not bad. Seems pointless. Oh, actually, okay, so if I turn this into an island and then I bounce Leyline, then I guess my opponent has a few less colors on the battlefield. They don't have black or... They don't have swamp or mountain. It's the advantage. I'm going to discard draw. Discard Leyline. I will now block Ragavan. I am on defense, and that can be card advantage versus me. I am not the aggro, in my opinion. Another Territorial Cavu. I got a Lord. How much damage can this do? So attack for 6. If I draw a Lord, I have victory. All right. Puts me in a position to win. Funny enough, if I kept my creature, I'd probably be in a better spot here because my opponent's attacking me for... I'd be at 11. Oh no, but they'd be still attacking me for lethal next turn. So I can just get hoofed by Territorial Kavu twice. Oh, they had the treasure. That's fine. I mean, I was not in a position... Okay, I can just concede this game. Oh, could I have drawn a Trickster? We'll never know. I don't even know if one Trickster would have done the job because I was still hopelessly behind. Okay, cards we want. We do want Dismember for those Kavus, for Ragavan. Cure will be fine. Flare of Denial is better than losing to a Sign of Draco, and Consign of Memory can hit Sign of Draco and also Leyline Binding. Cards that we do not want. We do not want... Trickster is good, actually. Shoot, what is Force Negate? I think this is just too much of matchup of attrition that I don't need Force Negation. I can't remember. Harbinger of the Seas is very hit or miss because of the... Actually, sorry, it's not hit or miss. Well, anyway, it can win games. We're going to keep it in the deck. I have to remove 4 things! Hexcatcher sucks. It's possible. No, oh, wait a minute. Tidebinder, I'm not in love with this card in this matchup. Like, just because of how clunky it is. It's... If you pass... So here's my problem with Tidebinder. You pass with 3 mana up. Okay, they probably know you have Tishana's Tidebinder. Or you take the Vial up to, like, 3. They think you have Tishana's Tidebinder. So it's hard to get good value out of Tishana's Tidebinder, both in hitting, like, the Leyline Binding or Territorial Kavu. Very, very difficult. It's possible, but it's just very hard. And I feel like I have a lot of 3-drops here. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to bring in some Hexcatchers back. Take out the Tidebinder. The card is fine. I have too many 3-drops here. Maybe you could argue take out some Harbinger of the Seas, but I want the free wins. If I'm allowed to have free wins. This hand sucks. Just basically 2 spells. Is it really that bad? It's bad, yeah. Mulligan. This hand is better. Yeah, we can keep this. This is... I wouldn't say it's premium, but I like it. Maybe we're going to dump the Ether Vial. Yeah, I think I will, because I have Subtlety. I don't know how many things we're going to draw from here on out. Okay, no Leyline. And what I meant by Subtlety, like, if we draw a land, we're just going to curve out. Okay, we have Cavernous Souls, Merfolk. We could have anything here. We could have Trickster. We could have Hexcatcher. Thundering Falls. They kept the card on top. They like it. They like it a lot. So no turn 2 Scion. They have some incentive right now to crack the fetch land. Because it goes to my turn, and again, I have 3 mana up. It can represent Tishana's Tidebinder. Now let's see if they don't crack the fetch land, which would disappoint me. I mean, they could crack it because, like, they could crack it, and that would mean to me... No, they can't have Mystical Dispute because I have Cavernous Souls. Yeah, it's too bad we don't have... we can't punish them here. I got a Plains. Damn. What is this? Oh, Felly the Dog. Sure. They play that card? What? No, it doesn't work with Flage, and Flage is banned anyway. What do they use with this card? I don't get it. Oh, Quantum Riddler. Sure. We'll draw a card. So they basically cycle the Quantum Riddler. And then we will, I don't know what they're going to do with the Thalia from here. So the unfortunate part is the Thalia can constantly blink our Harbinger of the Seas, but we're going to use the Consign to Memory to counter the return to the battlefield trigger. Cast with Replicate. Just crank it up completely. Same target, same target. Alright, your Quantum Riddler does not come back. Okay, I really want to dismember here, so I can dismember this stupid Thalia. Screwing around with my Harbinger of the Seas plan. This is very awkward. It's like super outrageously awkward. I can't even pass the turn and hold up subtlety, you know what I mean? Because I don't have the second blue source. Okay, they don't have bolts. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. Like, what they can do is they can attack, they can blink my Harbinger of the Seas, and then it just comes back. But it's gone for the turn. They can cast spells. And then I get the thing back. So maybe my plan will be... Actually, I have a few plans. I'll tell you what I could do. So they blink this thing. They're going to play a creature. I subtlety, I get rid of subtlety. And then I play the second Harbinger of the Seas. And then it doesn't matter if Thalia blinks one because I have the other. Big brain. That is big brain. Oh, no. They can sack the stupid Wooded Foothills, go get another basic land. How many basics do you have? There's usually 2 basics in this deck. There's the second one. Okay, so Harbinger comes back. I have a Harbinger. Looks like it's going to meet its end. Yeah. Lightning Bolt unlocks it. Okay, we're going to name this one on Elemental. Pass. Fortunately, they don't have a lot of basic land types out, so that's one good thing. They could have a bunch of green cards in their hand for all I know. You want to attack? It's possible they played in an awkward mana just to get rid of our Harbinger of the Seas, and now that that awkwardness is done, they don't know what to do. I guess they're like, if you got it, then let's just get it. Let's just get it out of the way. But anyway, I will get it out of the way. Right into that dog. This dog is being thrown into this big ocean. Can they play Leyline Binding? I guess they can for 4 mana. Or can they play for 3 mana? What is Leyline Binding? I think it's a 6 mana enchantment. Ooh, we blocked the dog. Maybe they have another dog. What do you think I was going to do? Why do you wait for me to block? You have fire? Is that the point? You do have Leyline Binding. What do you wait for? What was the point of that? Just do that first and get in 2 damage. I have a lord. I have a lord. What this lord will do. What this lord will do. Can it do anything? No, we'll just pass. The Harbinger Seas plan is failing this game. Failing miserably. They keep finding more lands, chat. They keep finding more lands. which is very frustrating. Would you like to blink your Leyline Binding? Give my 3/3 back? He's back. I also have Mutavaults, I guess I could attempt. Well, I mean, the Mutavaults would trade. And also when it trades, I lose my mana. Okay, okay. Okay, I get it. What the hell was that for? Did they just throw away a consign for nothing? Or are they trying to build up their graveyard for something? Oh, do they have Oculus? Is Oculus in the cards right now? Okay, there's the sign of Draco. Now this stupid thing has Vigilance. Okay, honestly, I don't feel like playing Harbinger of the Seas here. Let's just play a Master of the Pearl Trident. And attack with a bunch of Mutavaults. If I am so allowed. Because if I play Harbinger of the Seas, I don't got them Mutavaults anymore. So this attacks for 6 and attacks for lethal next turn. I just gotta hope my opponent doesn't have any more removal. Because I am attacking for 9. We've gotten through a good chunk of removal. I don't know if we got through all of it, though. Okay, so what our opponent could do is they could actually blink the Leyline Binding, give Subtlety back, and then get rid of the Master of the Pearl Trident. That is a line that they could take. Okay, they did nothing with Felia. It's fine, I'll take all 6. So they just have an answer? Ooh, that is a answer. But I'm still winning the clock. I'm still winning on the clock. Yeah, I'm not going to play any of these Harbinger of the Seas look very, very, very bad. Very, very, very bad. We just have to hope our opponent doesn't have Tribal Flames. So we're hoping our opponent doesn't have anything here. Okay, they're digging. They're gonna dig. Do they put anything in the graveyard? Arid Mesa. Okay, that's good. 6. Put you to 1. No more fetch lines for you. Oh, they immediately skipped to their attack step. Okay, we won. Mutavault! Millions of Mutavaults. The full 4. Okay, so there's Felia and Quantum Riddler. Okay, so maybe Tashanda's Tidebinder actually is more useful than, say, Hexcatcher. Let's shave a Harbinger of the Seas. Let's bring in a Sveloon. Yeah, that's about it. Now I'm going to draw Sveloon when our opponent would be dead on board to a Harbinger of the Seas, but that's okay. No land. Mulligan. No fun mulliganing versus deck that has a lot of removal. No fun at all. Hand is okay. We'll keep. Dump a sink. And they do have their patented ley line of the Guild Pact to start. Land, Ether Vial, pass. No Scion start, please. Oh. Okay, now I really want to rip land so I can sink the ley line back to hand. Alternatively, we do want to draw a bunch of lords. That's an alternative way of winning the game. So we're gonna play this, play our lord, and hope that we can lord our opponent out. But it really demands that our opponent is very light on removal, which post board is really hard to ask for. Very, very hard to ask for. But you can race one sign of Draco, I should say, with a big pile of lords. What is this, Teferi? It is Teferi. Oops, this was that was a mistake. I don't know, it doesn't change anything. It gives it so it gives them more information that I want to give them, but what are you gonna do? Okay, bounce Lord, so we'll just replay Lord. Attack Teferi. Time has run out, though. We could chump block for one turn with Kira, which might be useful. Okay, activate, play Lord. Attack Teferi. Actually, it's really good that we were at 13 life. That's really, really good. Really could have used a land there. To like wipe out the to timestamp the stupid ley line. And we can't do that right now. Maybe we can do it next turn. See what happens. We have 4 turns. It's a lot of turns. It's a lot of turns. So if they tap out for another Teferi, I sack Tide Shaper to play Flare of Denial. No, do I? Maybe I don't. Or maybe I do. Flash Portico. Okay, we'll definitely take this up to 3. Everything is 3 drops in our hand. Mutavault, interesting. Okay, so we have a lot of options here. And they definitely have removal. What if we activate, they fetch for basics, and then they let it resolve? Or even they float mana, and then we put Kira in play. And then we play Harbinger of the Seas afterwards. That would be a pretty sick line, wouldn't it? So it looks like we're putting Harbinger. They're just letting us put Harbinger in play? Okay. Harbinger goes in play. Do they just have nothing in hand? Okay, can we race? We're attacking for huge chunks of damage here. Every single turn. They've got no basic in play. They could have cracked the Flooded Strand and the Arid Mesa for basics. Maybe that was just like a punt on their part. Opponent goes, yeep. That's right. Okay, so we're in a race. Can we win that race? They go to 22. We're attacking for... I think we can win that race. We have a Kira to protect our stuff. Very interesting spot. And I can chump block with Kira for 1 turn if I need to. So I'll just take 4. Let's see if a flying Kira actually means something in this particular game. Quantum Riddler. Do I sack? I can sack my Kira for this. I can sack Kira. I attack for how much? Attack for 11, 14. Oh, is that enough damage? Or I just let this thing resolve. I chump block it once. No, I shouldn't let this resolve. We'll, Okay, what's happening here? I'm attacking for 10, 14 damage. I put my opponent down to 8. They gain 12. Yeah, I'm winning. Okay, let's just do that. Let's get rid of Kira. The lands are locked down anyway. I'm gonna tick this thing up to 4 so that we can cast get subtlety if necessary. Consign to memory is interesting. Because that shuts off Leyline Binding if they find a plains. Second Sign of Draco probably does nothing. I can counter a Quantum Riddler draw trigger. People say that you can never win versus Leyline of the Guild Pact and Sign of Draco, that it's impossible. And we were on the draw! And I'm telling you it's possible. Or were we on the draw? Who won the first game? Okay, we have another Quantum Riddler. Does it have haste? Doesn't get haste, right? First strike, hexproof, linkling, trampoline, whatever. It's all color. It's all colors, but what's the ability? When the creature enters, draw a card. Do I... Yeah, I think I have to counter this trigger. Because they're looking for like a mountain or a plains. Like mountain for bolt. Okay, we won. Alright, even though I bumbled up some of that, we won anyway. So the only losses that we had were Storm and Omnath. Well, the Storm should still be beatable no matter what, but the Omnath one, that should also be very beatable now. Like, I'm not really building the deck around Omnath, but I think it should still be... It should be good, just because of the Harbinger of the Seas. Like, it makes their deck like a little bit more clunky if they want to be looking for basics. I don't even know how many basics that they have. I think, like, I mean, you know, Solitude into Ephemerate is still a pain. That's a huge pain. There's less Dismembers actually in this list to deal with an Omnath or a Delighted Halfling, but not that big of a deal. For the most part, I think I like the list. I like the list. You know what? If I had an RCQ tomorrow, I might play this damn thing. Not 100% sure about the Merfolk Trickster, but you know what? Like, I don't know, you need something in the 2-drop slot, and maybe Floodpit's Drowner is just too stupid. Maybe it doesn't get the job done. It's just too bad at blocking. You can't push through damage nearly as well. You don't have that free advantage versus the Territorial Kavu. Also, actually, you can Merfolk Trickster a Ral. You know, I mean, there's little things. We even hit an Omnath once. What else to say about this thing? Yeah, I'm not 100%. You know what? If Kira is very good versus Eldrazi, that might be enough, because I hate playing versus Eldrazi. I just absolutely hate it. They just have too much mana too fast, and it just feels like you can't do anything. So one thing to recognize, they're very threat dense. They're like, you know what? Okay, let's go back to greed. Let's play with Mutavaults. Let's go the full 4 Mutavaults. Good stuff. Good a number of things that we can play with a colorless mana anyway. And with with the entire threat density of the deck, let's just lean on our free spells to carry us to victory. So anyway, I thought the deck played felt good, played good. Still don't know how well it plays versus Affinity or Energy, because those are like the top decks to beat. And I don't know what the results were or what the matchups were in that top 8 that this thing made top 8. But rest assured, there's a lot of combo in Modern. And if you can just get in, just have a great string of combo matchups, do you know what? Anything is possible. I hope you enjoyed the league. Smash the like button for more Merfolk content. And I will see you next time, Fish Fam.